Namaskara to everybody. 17th chapter is a special chapter. It's called Shraddhatraya. In 14th chapter, he said Gunatraya, Sattva, Raja, Tamo, Gunas. What will happen to a man when that guna is dominant? Same manner, in the 17th chapter, Krishna in detail tells what is the difference in Sattvika Shraddha, Rajasa Shraddha, and Tamas Shraddha. Arjuna asks a wonderful question in the beginning of this chapter. There is a man who doesn't follow the scripture, everything that is said in the scripture for his life. Still, he leads a wonderful life with devotion and dedication to the society and God. What should such man be called? Is he a Rajasika, Tamasika, or Sattvika? Interesting question by Arjuna, which is answered by Krishna in the remaining shlokas of this chapter. Krishna in the beginning says, Shraddhas are also of three types. I will tell you in detail about what these Shraddhas are. A man can be judged by the Shraddha that he has got. If he has Sattvika Shraddha, he is a Sattvika. If it is Rajasa, he is a Rajasi. If it is Tamasa, he is a Tamasi. Continuing, Krishna says, Sattvika people worship gods, and Rajasa people worship Yakshas and Rakshasas to get the benefits they want to get from. And the Tamasa people will be worshipping Bhutas and Pretas and other lower forms of existence. So that is the point. So when people do a lot of tapas which is not recommended by Shastra, with the ego and desire, such people do not recognize the God inside themselves or in a God in anybody else. They are actually Asuri Pravritti people. Saying that, Krishna says, the 7th shloka of 17th chapter, about food, yajna, tapas, dana, etc. Food is also Sattvika, Rajasa, Tamasa. Yajna also could be Sattvika, Rajasa, Tamasa. Tapas is also Rajasa, Sattvika, Rajasa, and Tamasa. Dana, when we give some gift to somebody, that could also be Sattvika, Rajasa, or Tamasa, he says. And in the remaining all shlokas of the chapter, he explains this. He begins with Sattvika food. Sattvika food is that which will increase the longevity of life, which increases the buddhi, bala, health, and love to the humanity, which will be soft and digestible, is said to be Sattvika food, liked by a Sattvika man. Then he speaks about the Rajasa food, which will be tasting more to the tongue, because it will have lot of salt, lot of sour, and also hot enough, interesting to eat, and later it gives a lot of trouble to the man who eats it. Such food is said to be the Rajasa food by Krishna. And then Tamasa food he speaks about. Food prepared long time ago and it has got time out, then it is Tamasa, doesn't taste good. Remaining food of the yesterdays is said to be Tamasa food. And this is generally liked by the people who are tamasic. So speaking about the food, three types of food Krishna goes to be yajna. Yajna is something that we do on earth. For Krishna, yajna doesn't only mean that we offer something in the fire to God. All good work that a man does is yajna. If you do an yajna without expecting anything back, because it is recommended by the Shastras, and you consider it is your duty to do it, then your yajna is sattvika yajna. But if we do something only having an intention of getting certain result, done with lot of ego, to making a show of that you have been doing something, such yajna is considered to be Rajasa yajna. We already know Rajasa people are always result-oriented people. They never do something that is to be done to the society by a man who is without ego. And then he says, if somebody does something like yajna without considering any shastra, without offering food to anybody or dakshina or mantra, then that yajna is said to be the tamasika yajna. After speaking about the yajna, he speaks about the tapas. As he said in the chapter, shloka 7. Sattvika tapas is that tapas which has three divisions. First one is bodily tapas, Krishna says to Arjuna and to everybody who listens to Bhagavad Gita. Devadvija Guru Prajna Pujanam Shauchamarjavam. Having respect and worshipping Devadvija Guru Prajna Jnanis, and internal and external purity and simplicity of life, who always intends to know the Brahman or the Atman, that is said to be the Sharirika tapas. And then Krishna speaks about the Vachika tapas. Anudvega karam vakyam. Must be able to speak in a beautiful way. It must not excite the listener. But it must be continuing Satyam Priyam Hitanchet. It must be true, it must be lovable, and it must be understandable. And he also says, Swadhyaya Besanam. One's duty of a man is to do what he is expected to do as a Swadhyaya. Say, for example, I here recommend the Swadhyaya for a man who has studied Bhagavad Gita is to read it every day. Should we read it every day, sir, you may ask? We do many things every day. Say, for example, we have sleep every day, food every day, rest every day, and all those things. Swadhyaya is also an essential part of life for a spiritual man. And Swadhyaya and practicing of that Swadhyaya, what you have studied, You must try to inculcate in life. That is said to be the Vangmaya tapas. Tapas of words, tapas of speech. It must also be. So this is the Sattvika tapas of words or talk. And then there is another Manasika tapas, austerity of mind. Always be pleasant. Whatever situation you are in, you must be able to take it as if it is given by God to bear with. And one must not be speaking too much. Maunam Atma Vinigraha. Win over the Indriyas. He will not speak unless somebody asks him to speak. And he has clarity of mind and feeling. That these are some of the things that are essential as Mansika tapas of a man. And he concludes, when a man does these three tapas, Sharirika tapas, Vachika tapas, and Mansika tapas, when he does it without expecting any result of what he has been doing, that is said to be the Sattvika tapas. And then he goes to the Rajasa tapas. He already know what Rajasa is. Whatever he does it for a result. Does it with ego. And doesn't matter if he takes a loan to do it, he will be ready to do it anything if he can get the result. Even that is done in that way, Krishna says, don't consider him a Sattvika tapasvi. Result-oriented man is a Rajasa tapasvi. And also he speaks about the Tamasa, the next sloka. Man is ignorant, neither he knows anything. He can punish himself, he can punish others. If he does something to create problem for the others, that tapas is said to be the tamasika tapas, done by tamasa people. After saying about the tapas, Krishna goes to the next topic, dana. Datavyamiti yaddanam diyate anupakarine. My duty to give it. For a man in need without expecting anything, anupakarine, we must not be expecting any upakara from the man whom we give some dana. When we do it, when we get a person like that, in any place, that dana is said to be the Sattvika dana. It is the top in the hierarchy, that's all. So Sattvika dana is recommended by Krishna to the devotee. And when is dana Rajasa, he says, you give something to other, expect something back from that man. Yattu pratyapakarartam. You did something and you want it back in the other form. And you are always result oriented, as we said earlier. He can give it pariklistam. With difficulty, if he can get the result, he will borrow and give it to this man who does it. Such tapas is said to be Rajasika tapas, not of high order. And coming to the tamasa tapas, somehow this fool gets an idea that I must give something. He gives something to somebody who doesn't need it or doesn't deserve to take it. Without respect, without honor, something is given as a gift. That dana is said to be the tamasika dana. After speaking about these four, Krishna speaks about the Om Tat Saditi. That is what we say after every shloka, tries to explain the meaning of it. Om, Tat and Sat, there are three words. All the three refer to Brahman. And from Brahman only, Vedas and Yajnas and everything were created. Brahma created the Veda and Yajna. In the beginning of the creation, Krishna says, therefore, any great thing that you do must start with Omkara. We know whatever we do, even if we say some small mantra, if you say without Om, that is not good enough. That's not spiritual. So all great deeds, Krishna says, Tasmad Omityahudahartya yajna dana tapakriha. Whether you do yajna, dana, tapasu or work, must start with Omkara. Krishna, after saying that Omkara, the greatness of Omkara, he speaks about the Tat in the Om Tat Sat. Krishna says Tat is used by man who are expecting to get liberated when they do their action. Moksha Kangshabhihi, he says. So those who want to get liberated use Tat. That's what Krishna says. I don't know when it is used. And coming to the last one, Sat. And he speaks about the Sat. Om and Tat and Sat, all three refer to that cosmic consciousness which he has already said. Tat indicates goodness. Sat indicates goodness. We use the prefix Sat for many things. Karma, Sat Karma. And so many words we use Sat. Sampradaya, Sat Sampradaya. Purusha, Sat Purusha, and so on. Sat is a prefix used in greatly. When a man does something without Shraddha, in conclusion, Krishna says, will not get the benefit either in the present life or after he is dead. So doing something without Shraddha is useless according to Krishna. With that, the chapter comes to an end. A beautiful chapter, simple one, small one, with only 28 shlokas. Thank you for listening.